The following presentation involves three friends who get together and talk confidently about topics they know nothing about.
How would a giraffe wear a necktie?
Damn it, he got two in.
It would have to bow.
Welcome to the podcast. I don't even know what a podcast is.
Can I just jump in here?
As you wish.
I've decided that I'm going to be the intelligent one on this podcast because I know the most about everything.
Your love of the halfling's leaf has clearly slowed your mind.
I mean, these people are not audio people at all. They have no idea. Until they let me actually run the show here, I'm kind of just letting them talk.
Are you talking to us?
No, we're rolling, yeah, so continue.
I don't know. Now that the mics are on, I don't really want to talk.
A little fight now. I like that.
Throughout my day, I mean, honestly, I hate most people.
Now, get excited.
I am very excited. I am always excited.
Here they are, stupid fat hobbits.
I thought my chair was about to fall.
I can't. It has 5 legs, like a spider.
Spider's 8 legs, but
Fuck you.
could have said a starfish.
Do starfish have 5 legs? Starfish don't have legs. They're a sea mammalian.
The sea mammalian is not
They're
a
not
word.
a sea mailman, no.
Do you see the first
Fish don't have letters.
What would you call those? Arms?
fish what?
If they're not legs, what are they? Are they arms?
Just appendages. Various appendages.
Tentacles, perhaps?
No, they're not really tentacles.
A
although
unicorn has
starfish are
5
kinda
legs.
creepy.
If you count its unicorn.
That's not a leg, that's a horn.
Oh,
Well,
you're right.
technically it is 6.
It's probably
but
the horn is probably not called. It's a unicorn.
Did you just say, are you talking about its unicorn? You mean it's unihorn?
no, it's horn.
No, you said, are you talking about its unicorn?
I said that.
He said a unicorn has 5 legs because of its horn.
No, because I said because of its unicorn.
No, that's okay. I was confused.
But like, doesn't it actually still work?
What?
Like unicorn just essentially means single horn, right? So like,
Yeah.
if I had said unicorn, that might have actually worked because of its unicorn, because of its single corn.
Single corn.
Fuck. Just anything he's saying making sense to you?
Unihorn. If I had said unihorn,
Unihorn?
it just sounds like we're talking about something sexual.
I mean, you went there. You're talking about, oh, technically a unicorn has 5 legs because it has a horn. Like, okay, so every like human male has 3 legs.
I was trying to bring up our cross between what a fish and a.
I don't see why.
We are not starting well.
This
right
is
now.
the problem. We never ask, in all our discussions, we never ask why. Like, why is Chris talking about this? He shouldn't be. He's trying to compare a unicorn to a starfish. And they're not even trying to fight.
Reverse centaur versus a mermaid. That's what I think I was trying to reference.
You can't,
reverse mermaid.
you can't just repurpose old content when you can't think of anything else. You're not getting away with this.
No, back to the unicorn.
No, not back to the unicorn.
Sorry,
The
starfish. Back to the starfish.
What about the starfish?
I don't know. Why are we talking about
You guys
starfish?
were starting to get animated and just like wanted to get in an argument. Like I was trying to educate you about sea
Why
mammalians.
are we arguing about starfish?
We're not arguing. You guys are looking for
Sea
an
urchins
argument.
is the word you're looking for. Sea mammalians.
They are not urchins either. They're urchins.
Is sea mammalian a word?
We don't know that. They
An
might sell
urchin
precious
is like a
metals.
merchant.
We don't know that starfish don't like, sell
one knows any
pearls from
words.
clams.
I think
On the open
I think
seas?
that's a safe bet. We can assume they don't.
Well, prove it.
Do starfish mate?
Of course they made.
No,
Are they like
they're,
that?
They're formed out of the
you-
sand.
No. You know the plants that can do it themselves. What is that called?
Osmosis?
No, it's not. Johnny, you would know this. It's kind of like a weird thing you would know.
So plants grow. This is true. We're talking about like self-regenerating plants.
It's self-procreation essentially, like the the starfish would just touch itself and a new starfish would come out.
I don't think that's how it works.
No, I'm serious. That's how sea mammalians work.
Isn't there a shark that doesn't need fertilization?
Yes.
Is
or
a sea,
something.
isn't that a seahorse?
I think it is a
No,
No. The seahorse, the male does not.
male
gives
gives
birth,
birth.
yeah.
But you still need to.
and they give birth to like
Thousands.
500
Yeah,
at a time. or
Just, I
something.
mean, it's like uncountable mammalians just coming out of that mammalian.
How many of them do you think like live, like make it to adulthood? Out of like, say it gives birth to 500.
I'll bet you it's less than 1%.
I was gonna go more like half or like 30.
30 is not half of
30 out
500.
No, half or 30%. Between 30 and 50% is what I'm
Okay.
going for.
Can we look this up? Can
You
somebody
know,
fact
have
check
you
this?
ever, like, there's no way those little dinky things are making it to adulthood. It's like when the
Well-
turtles make
they're
the
parents
turtles
then.
do their thing, like all the babies rush to the sea and everyone watches them and then like 3/4 of them get eaten before they make it 10 yards.
And more than eaten, they also can drown because
Can't even swim. Why are they
no,
going
they can
into the
swim.
ocean?
But the problem is, well, the ones I'm thinking of, their nests are under the sand.
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
And so if the tide comes in before they hatch, they drown in their
that's
nests,
right.
so they don't get to the ocean.
Because they only know how to swim in sand.
So I have the statistics on the baby
okay,
seahorses.
let's hear it.
Yeah, they're fucked.
Really?
I was way off. 0.5% will live. to
Wow,
adulthood.
I was actually quite close. So out of 5, how many does a typical seahorse mammalian have?
A male seahorse mammalian,
Yeah.
upwards of
Between 1 and 1,000.
1,000.
Wait. Did you just say between 1 and 1,000?
Sorry, 100 and 1,000.
It's just like, oh, Tom, a pretty weak litter this time.
The seahorse married couple.
Honey, it's not your fault.
The mother is. But in this case, it's the dad's fault, and the mom's sitting there like waiting for 1,000 to come out, and there's like they're just one's like, and she's like, "You stink."
Oh God.
Don't you think that like, it would be simpler for them just to have like 10, and they always have 10, and they can just protect the 10?
I don't think you can
Do you
control
think
how many
seahorses are
children you
vicious
have.
fighters or something?
Well, I'm just saying.
as
I mean,
a mammalian.
they're having 1,000. Like, how the heck are you supposed to keep track of 1,000 kids?
I don't think they take care of them. I think they come out ready to go off their own.
Yeah, the world of animal mammalians beyond humans is vicious.
I guess.
I mean, that's
don't know.
probably why they birth so many, because it's a higher chance that at least some will survive. If they birth 10, that's the likelihood of all 10 dying is very high.
But again, I think it's, well, I guess it depends on if they protect them. But
They definitely do not protect them. They're a seahorse. So
Why would they need to
That's
protect
rather-
them? They can just make 1,000 more like next year or whatever.
do they
Or
mate
3 days
on a
later.
yearly? Yeah, I was going to say, it could be like a week later. They do
I
it
don't
again.
know. Aren't seahorses monogamous? They're they're monogamous.
I think so, actually. It's like wolves. Wolves mate for life.
there's a lot of.
I don't
animals that
think
mate
that's
for
true.
life.
I wanna call you out on that.
There's a lot of birds that do it. And
Wolves mate for life.
chimpanzees, I think, mate for life.
I thought wolves are like selective monogamy.
So male wolves mate for life. And if the female dies, they won't mate again.
Because they're grieving.
If the male dies, the female will go and look for a new mate.
Well, I mean, yeah, she could. I mean, gotta.
Slutty wolves, man.
You whore. No, we kid.
I'd love to see a Disney movie involving wolves or something like that happen. Well, welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome.
The podcast where we sit around and fill in your time while you're waiting for the next Joe Rogan episode. It's great to be back. Hopefully you enjoyed our rant about monogamous sea urchins.
There you go.
See, I can.
Well, a
pick up
sea
on
urchin
things.
is technically a one type of animal. It's just one.
So that's an actual species.
Yes.
Sea urchin.
Little spiky things.
Aren't they technically plants?
You're thinking of coral.
I think
seaweed.
sea urchins are like a type of coral.
No, they're not. No, they're not. coral.
I'm not even gonna
They're a
try.
type of Steve Kerr.
No, it's definitely a type of sea creature, not a plant though.
Okay.
Because you can cut them open and eat them. They taste horrible.
Like a clam.
Well, it doesn't. sound great.
Yeah, but they're edible.
You know,
I think.
what does taste like relatively good, kind of like scallops, is skate.
Is that the flat one?
Isn't Scape with the fake
Skate.
Skate, sorry.
It's
with
like a
the-
stingray without a stinger.
Yeah, they're like stingray family-ish type things.
Yeah, and like cheap seafood restaurants will use those instead of scallops.
Yeah, I have heard that, but it actually is quite good. Like you shouldn't feel ashamed to be served a skate.
Well,
And-
if I ordered scallops and I get a skate,
Well,
I'm
yes, in
sending
that
it back.
case, fine, fair enough. But
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty bothered by that.
is this scallops? No, this is skate. We pulled out of the Chesapeake River about 2 hours ago.
Isn't it the Chesapeake Bay?
Yes, it is.
Man, we are not good.
I'm sure
with
there is
our-
a Chesapeake River out there though, somewhere. Fact checkers, get on that.
Probably.
We should probably steer away from water related activities because we don't know anything.
We do not.
No, that'd be disastrous. Can you imagine us trying to sail?
Can we do that? We should rent a sailboat
And try to
film
sail
it.
without
Yeah.
like any instructions or.
No.
we would die.
Well,
I don't think so. We
Wait,
would just
wait,
capsize.
just us
probably.
three go out with
Yeah.
no instructor?
I mean,
Yeah, we would die.
got port, starboard, the boom, the mainsail.
Okay, how do you raise
jib.
it? How do you
Hey,
raise the
just
mainsail?
naming things doesn't mean you know how to use them.
It does not, but it's certainly a help.
All the knowledge you're using you got from Community.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah, they know how to sail on land.
Fair enough. Well, no, Pierce doesn't. I think he drowns
He
twice,
does
right?
yeah,
Or-
yeah.
Anyways, Johnny, speaking of things that we might know more about than sea urchins, breaking news from Florida.
Yes, I do know more about Florida people than sea urchins. So, and on that, let's get to the news.
This is breaking news from Florida.
All right, so the one we have this week is it's odd because this guy's already in jail.
Aren't these always odd?
Yes, I shouldn't stop prefacing these things with odd.
Aren't these people also likely in jail by the time we hear the story? If they've done something
Ye-
that's illegal.
Yes.
I guess certain.
So what is so
things
different
just
about
don't have to
this?
be said.
Well,
he's
I'll-
laying the foundation.
I'll just explain it.
Okay.
Florida inmate
Oh,
busted for feeding iguanas to alligator in the jail's zoo.
what the frick?
So,
Okay, either
one-
we need to go. Either we need to be incarcerated in Florida immediately because that sounds incredible.
They get a free zoo.
So the jail has a petting zoo with
A
alligator.
petting zoo?
Apparently, there's a bunch of animals in the zoo, but it's a jail in Florida that has zoos.
wait. Is the zoo in the jail or is the jail in the zoo?
The zoo's in the jail.
So the inmates are part of the zoo. People come to see alligators and iguanas and Florida inmates.
Oh, look, it's Kevin.
Please do not feed the inmates.
One comes crawling out.
Okay, so how did he get a hold of an iguana?
Well, I think there's just a bunch. So either they're natural, wild iguanas, or he was taking them from the iguana exhibit.
Wait, why?
But so accused car thief.
wait, what do you mean the exhibit? There are exhibits.
Yeah, it's just not an alligator. They have a whole. It says here a small petting farm on the grounds of the Stock Island Detention Center. And so this guy, accused car thief, Jason Aaron Gibson, age 40, was one of the privileged inmates allowed to work at the small petting zoo. And then he proceeded to, they were the pet iguanas. So they were not wild iguanas. He took the iguanas from the little petting zoo and started feeding them to the alligator.
That is
Wait,
so
wait.
cruel.
The alligator is in the petting zoo. The alligator is a pet.
Yes, named Irwin.
Well, okay, too soon. Wow, that's just.
Well, the alligator's not dead.
Yeah, the alligator didn't die.
His name is Irwin.
Yeah, but he's
Steve Irwin.
Oh,
but the alligator
That's
is
dark.
living on in his memory.
It's always too soon to do something. Well, I guess he didn't get killed by an alligator.
no.
I'll allow
If
it.
you named a stingray,
Yeah, that's
Steve,
right.
I'll
Irwin.
allow it. I'll
Yeah,
allow
what
it,
was
I'll
really
allow it.
rude is you were talking about stingray-ish type fishes when you knew we were about to talk about Irwin the alligator.
I had no idea we were going to talk about Irwin alligator.
He was ratted out by two other inmates who were, and I quote,
Were these inmates animals or humans?
these were the human inmates.
Okay.
Inmates who were, and I quote, distraught and heartbroken at witnessing him throwing iguanas to Irwin.
I hope those guys got like parole or something, for their good service to the animal community.
Oh, this is kind of sad. The
It's not sad enough
Monroe
for you?
County Sheriff's staff were particularly traumatized at the death of Mojo, a large male iguana who had been there for 13 years.
He threw named iguanas.
Yeah, I told you they're the pet iguanas.
Why find the ones that aren't named?
This is like a humanitarian
should we get
crisis.
Should we get like
This
the UN involved?
he needs to go. This guy should be put in some kind of prison that does not have a petting zoo. Maybe like Guantanamo Bay or something.
Yeah, I'm down for sending him there.
Do you think this is punishable by death?
I mean, yeah, it's
I
an
would
eye
say,
for
I
an
would
eye
say so.
situation.
I would say so.
Eye for an eye. You kill an iguana, you
You get an iguana
Maybe not
shoved in
maybe
you.
Not, that's just punishing the iguanas even more. I'd rather be eaten at that point.
That's fair.
I don't think we should kill him though. We should actually just cut off like a limb or two, and then he has to watch as we feed his limbs to another alligator.
This is getting. Are you okay?
Mentally,
getting very
emotionally,
dark.
physically.
Johnny
No.
really likes iguanas, and when you mess with an iguana,
Dude, they mess with my mojo.
Well,
there it is.
I think all we can say is that this is clearly another reason
Just not to live in Florida.
not to live in Florida. Because if you live in Florida and commit a crime and go to this particular jail, you may experience your fellow inmates feeding iguanas to alligators, and we don't want to put that upon anybody.
Yeah, but at least you got a petting farm.
Well, this is true.
But you get to go to the zoo for free. Are most zoos free?
Prisoners cannot go to the zoo for free.
I don't think most
are.
zoos are free, but there are a lot of free
Like,
zoos.
like you can commit a crime, and then your punishment is you get to go to the zoo.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure it's not a great zoo. It's not like the Baltimore Aquarium.
All right,
That's not a great
okay,
zoo
hold on.
either. It's not a zoo.
What do
It's an
you
aquarium.
what do you
Eh,
qualify as a great zoo? I
San
mean, if I
Diego
saw someone
Zoo, the
throwing
National Zoo.
iguanas to an alligator, I would probably pay like $100 for that, and they're getting it for free.
You're one sick fuck.
No, I mean that's like
Let's be honest. If you were at a zoo and you're at the alligator exhibit and somebody came out that looked like they worked there, because he did, and started feeding live iguanas to alligators, would you really question that?
no, it's
No.
like the alligator eats the iguana.
Yeah.
The zoo man knows what the zoo
Yeah,
does.
exactly. You go, oh yeah, it's feeding time. Let's watch these iguanas get eaten by alligators, and you would love it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
It's different if you're an iguana, right? And you're in bird's eye view of this alligator cage, and then Steve comes out, your best friend Steve, and you see Steve get fed to the alligator. That's traumatizing.
but imagine if you were at the zoo, a real zoo, not a prison zoo. And the alligator exhibit is right next to the iguana exhibit, and you just see the zoo man run into the iguana exhibit that everyone's watching
And grab
and
one?
just grab one and fling it over.
Well, that would be an issue. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
concern.
Well, that's what he was doing. So.
Like, yeah, it's pretty effed up. But like having a zoo in a prison is also, I think that's the more questionable issue here.
We got to talk to our boy Ron DeSantis about this. All right, well, moving on. Let's go to a little pop takes. I got something I want to bring up.
Pop takes.
All right, so for this edition of Pop Takes, where we
We have hot takes and popular topics.
thank you, John.
Anytime.
I would like to propose
A toast.
a take that I think is going to be wildly disputed, but maybe you guys will agree with me. I think a lot of people out there in the world are not going to agree with this.
Before you ask this question,
It's not a question.
statement. Are you sure you want to?
Yes, I am.
You sure?
I'm going to commit to this.
You will be ridiculed.
I understand that, but it's how I feel, and it's the truth.
Proceed at your own risk.
You're so brave.
Community is better than The Office. The show Community is better than the show The Office. There's nothing you can say that will sway me back to.
Are you okay publicly admitting these thoughts that you have?
I am.
Okay. You should be in prison in Florida.
It's a more clever show. It's funnier. There's better character development, and it's just more intelligent. It's more of an intellectual show than The Office, and there's not really anything that can dispute that. The Office is cringe humor, and it's great. I love it. It's the second best comedy ever made, but the Community is the greatest show ever created. Comedy show ever created.
Pat, how much did you learn about Ben Franklin and Community when you watched it?
I don't think I learned one thing about our history.
Me neither. How much did you learn watching The Office, though?
I learned a lot.
I didn't know he invented the bifocals.
Did you know he wore pantaloons?
Yeah. Chocolate was only in the Amazon. See, intelligent. The Office is intelligent. It teaches you things.
King George III.
Are you kidding me?
And all you know is what did Community teach you?
It taught
like
me a
pop
lot.
culture references.
It taught me a lot about tribalism.
Here we go.
And existentialism
and cults.
But no. When it comes to the content, it taught me a lot about Feliz Guzman.
You're really Britaing it right now.
Oh, Luis Guzman.
I think Community is a great show. I don't think it's as timeless as The Office is.
But you have to, everybody can admit that The Office is not as clever. The Office is not as clever as Community.
Yes. Community is like a smarter show.
Yes, it's a smarter person show.
Its Community is like trying to be intelligent. The Office isn't trying to do that. Like Community is definitely trying harder.
I don't think Community is a very intelligent show.
It's more of like a pseudo intellectual show.
It's an intelligent show from the perspective of like what cinema is. So it knows how TV works and movies work, and they exploit that to the extreme, and like pull out every trick in the books, like to basically like make fun at how Hollywood works. And that's awesome.
Meta.
What's the movie Michael made?
Michael Scarn? What is the title?
Isn't it Michael Scarn?
No, it's something Midnight.
Freeze Detect. Oh, Threat Level Midnight.
Threat Level Midnight. See, that is real filmmaking. So when you say, "Oh, so a show can, interpret filmmaking really well," so can Michael Scott.
But Community has all these episodes where they will like do a play off of an existing TV show. So they do like, is it CSI or Law and Order? They do
MASH.
the MASH. They do the whole MASH episode. They have the paintball episodes where they go through like Star Wars motifs.
Yeah,
and
it's much more like parody based, but it's really well done.
It's extremely well done.
No, I agree. Those episodes are very good.
But
as a whole,
I think Community could be considered more entertaining, but The Office is a better show.
No.
The Office has a better story.
What's more quotable?
Community.
Yeah, easily.
Is it?
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's not.
It is.
No. You just like it because it's absurd. It's absurd.
I think the Community is more quotable than The Office.
I think it's just because you've seen it more and you're
I've seen
currently
Community.
watching.
This is
I
just
know
like
more than I've
recency
seen The
bias. You've been watching
No.
Community for the last like year. You're like, oh, this show's amazing. When you rewatch The Office in 6 months, you'll be like, wow, this is incredible.
Until you get to Scott's tots.
Well, okay, we didn't need to bring that up. That was insensitive.
Hey, Mr. Scott.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Make your dreams come true.
I would bet that there are people out there that agree with me.
I know that there are.
I'm sure there are. I just think the majority would disagree with you.
It's also, I mean, it's a contrarian view, so the like hipster types are going to agree with you.
I mean, look, you told me recently you went on like a little tirade of Community research. Like, what do you think about Community? What did you learn from your endeavors diving into the depths of Community's lore?
I think it is a great show. I don't think that they can be compared.
Okay.
I think The Office and Parks and Rec can be compared. I don't think you can compare The Office and Community. Like,
I might
they're
agree.
just so different.
I might agree.
Did you
But
know that random tidbit here? in my community exploration. NBC had Community, Parks and Rec, and The Office, and 30 Rock all going at the same time. For the
Goldmine.
greatest shows,
Yeah.
for the greatest comedies,
Of
you
all
could
time.
argue,
Yeah,
of all time.
Yeah, definitely. They were in a golden age of comedy. The funny thing about it though was, I think that a show like Community works really well in a Netflix setting where like you could watch episode after episode quickly,
Yes.
and it didn't really take off until it left TV. Like it wasn't that popular when it was on TV. It got really popular once it became available on the streaming platforms. So like,
Yeah, I wouldn't like tune in once a week to watch the next episode of Community.
Right.
Like,
What is that
You're
actually?
right. Yeah, it flows better when you can watch like 10 in a row.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But it doesn't disregard its, or it doesn't negate its incredible genius. And I think that like, you're right. At that time, NBC was absolutely killing it with comedies.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing is if you're being overshadowed, imagine being on the same network as The Office and Parks and Rec. You're just not getting your proper due.
Not when they're on in their prime, you know. Like,
so it would be
and 30 Rock is another show that is wildly underrated by the average TV consumer.
Never seen it.
30 Rock is phenomenal.
see that's honestly 30. I never really got 30 Rock.
Are you serious?
I think I had a laugh. It's pretty good, but like I don't really
I
get
don't
the
believe
obsession.
in two-way streets, not between people and not while I'm driving.
Exactly.
I mean, in some ways, 30 Rock was kind of like the precursor to Community when it came to like intelligent comedy shows. Like that is actually, it has a lot of the same elements when it comes to making fun of like how TV works, because it's all based, you know.
It's very self-aware.
Yeah, it's super self-aware.
Yeah. Johnny just rolled his eyes. He doesn't like
I don't think it's
analyzing
self-aware.
comedy. You don't think Community is self-aware?
No, 30 Rock.
Yeah.
You've never seen 30 Rock.
I know. I'm making a snap judgment. I'm
Well,
judging I'm judging the book by its cover.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it.
It's not a book, so it doesn't have a cover.
Cover art.
Boom, roasted.
Well, you guys always judge books by their cover because you never open them. Right.
I open them sometimes.
How many pages have you turned over?
Turned over.
Have you gotten past the acknowledgments?
No, I always skip those. Who reads those? Do you? Do you read those?
Not
Pat?
me. I don't do that.
Oh,
Well,
you
regardless,
fucking nerd.
I think Community is better than The Office, and I will stand by that until I die. And I'm a huge Office fan, one of the biggest.
See, I could get behind you, but knowing you personally, I know that this is going to your opinion is going to change within the year.
We'll see. We'll come back in a year, and we'll.
Okay, we'll put up a poll in a year.
No poll for this. No poll for this. I can't be. I'll be crucified.
Stuff your neighbor has.
Sponsor, not a sponsor. This episode of Stupid Fat Hobbits is brought to you by Bean Boots.
Sick and tired of not having the same unoriginal and overpriced products that all your wealthy friends have?
Do you have to hike a quarter of a mile through treacherous sidewalks and gently sloping lawns to get to class? Do you struggle to make it through a terrifying winter of 1 2-inch snowfall and bitter 45-degree days?
Well, then you need your first pair of bean boots. They only come in a few shapes and colors, so you'll fit right in. Struggling with your personality? Don't worry, they'll give you one.
And talk about versatility. Everyone wears them everywhere.
Going to a party?
Bean boots.
Going to class?
Bean boots.
Going to church?
Bean boots.
Going on a date?
Bean boots.
Job interview?
Bean boots.
Getting jiggy with it?
Bean boots.
Football game?
Bean boots.
Fraternity hazing?
Bean boots.
Hiking?
You gotta draw the line somewhere.
Bean Boots, the only boot for those who don't need boots. Do not attempt a solo hike of Mount Katahdin without bringing at least 4 pairs of bean boots. Who are we kidding? You're not hiking in these. Bean boots are not made from real beans, nor are they in the shape of a bean,
nor do they remotely remind you of a bean. They do, however, perform better when paired with an overpriced cup of Starbucks coffee. Drink your slimy bean juice with your leathery bean boots. Assumptions that expensive brand name products provide exceptional quality are exceedingly dangerous and should not be entertained. Higher price does not mean better tread or grip. It does mean you can wear more expensive brand boots and have more friends based upon the things you wear. Quality of friendships may be more than superficial. If you want better friends, perhaps judge them on the content of their character and not the things that they wear. But hey, we just sell boots. You got to do the heavy lifting. Bean boots may not make you a better person, but if you don't wear them for all the wrong reasons, you will become a worse person.
All right, thanks to Bean Boots for sponsoring this episode. Moving on, let's get to a little trenches.
Not yet.
Okay,
I
no
had
trenches.
a small thought.
Oh God.
Johnny's Corner.
Johnny's Corner.
It's my fucking corner, guys. Okay, I just had a real quick thought before we get into some serious Tolkien analysis. I was thinking the other day that if you think about it, no one has ever been in an empty room.
Just once, I want to have one of Johnny's thoughts like not make me just go.
You know what? I fought for this country. And I know you can't pick and choose the parts you fight for.
Are you making another
What are
community
you-
reference?
Yes,
You
community
can't-
quote.
No, you can't keep plugging community. Community, not sponsored. The Office is better.
Bean Boots.
So you're just, this is like the same thing as like, when you're not alone or when you're alone, you're really not alone.
Oh no, you can definitely be alone.
Like when you're doing nothing, you're actually not doing nothing. Was that a Johnny's thought?
Was this Pat's corner or Johnny's corner?
Either way, I don't know. I mean, I think that like what you're saying makes sense. The problem, I don't care. So
Don't worry. I'm used to it.
I mean, it's like he does this segment. I mean, just to like be selfish, you know.
I mean,
Have you ever thought about the fact that like when a giraffe drinks coffee, it's cold by the time it hits its stomach? Do you ever think about that? Yeah, of course not. You only think about yourself.
No, because it's scientifically and factually incorrect. If you think about it, you can disprove that.
Well, again,
The real question is, how would a giraffe wear a necktie?
Damn it, he got two in.
it would have to bow.
I'm not saying how it would have put it on, but where would it wear it? Like up here by the chin?
I know.
Or would it be more of like at the
Yeah.
bottom of
At the bottom of the neck, like every other human.
It's still
being.
wearing a neck. I mean, it would have. Yeah, it
Where
would
would
have
it
to
go?
wear a bow tie.
We are now officially moving on.
We're moving on. It's time for we're getting to the trenches. In the trenches with Tolkien. Let's do it.
In the trenches with Tolkien.
All right, Patrick. We have calmed down. We have moved away from Johnny's corner. We have enlightened ourselves with the gravitas of Tolkien himself. Which quote have you chosen for our discussion this evening?
I have chosen a very, very dear to my heart quote, like a deer in the headlights type of quote. But before I give it, Johnny, can you set the scene? We're in the trenches. What's going on? If you remember, your head has been booped off by a sniper.
I'm sorry. Booped off?
Yeah, it's been booped off.
Okay.
Damn it, Jim. Guys, Jim's head just got booped off.
Well, so I'm dead then.
We don't know. Your head's booped off.
As I sit here journaling in my journal, writing letters to dear Mary, I can hear the mortars whistling in the distance, growing closer. I must go now. It's time to fight. Dearest John.
Oh,
There you have it. And the quote is this.
it's like Band of Brothers.
That was really good. All right, so this is a pretty common one, but I feel like we need to dissect it because all the greatest literary analysiers, that's a word, and the greatest intellectuals have dissected this quote. But
Okay.
people want to hear our feedback, right?
Yep.
All right, so the quote is, "Not all those who want yeah, not all those who wander are lost."
That is deep.
Not all those who wander are lost. I mean, it sounds like a snooty comeback to somebody that's like, "Are you lost, dude?" And then Tolkien was like, "Yo,
He just
bitch,
butts in.
But what
not
do you
all that wander are lost."
what are you lost in though? Are you lost in the sauce?
Ooh, maybe he is lost in the sauce.
I don't
Whi-
think
in
Tolkien
which
would
case,
approve of that.
that would actually be something that I could get on board that explanation. Because to me, again, food is a vehicle for,
Sauces.
so it is impossible for somebody to get lost in the
Sauce. But isn't lost in the sauce technically like you're drunk?
lost. I mean, the how that is applied typically is not in regards to food, but
But you're being kind of selfish right now because you're
being
making
kind
it-
of clever is what I'm doing.
That's not very clever. You're just making it mean something you want it to mean because you are.
What is the point
greedy
of this
for
segment?
sauce. I guess that's true.
No. The point of the segment is to find out what he actually was trying to say there.
Yeah.
So I think what he was trying to say is that not everybody that appears to be, different or going against the grain or swimming against the cultural waters, right?
Like a
are
salmon.
crazy or are lost or are like a salmon. Yes.
But that's what we want to think.
Maybe
right?
he's really loves the word wander and he's really tired of people thinking that it means lost. And so he just had to slip this in as a little jab.
It was like a very linguistic.
Exactly.
That's not a bad thought, actually.
Like, let me wander, bitch. I'm not
I'm not lost.
And he just had to put it down in writing to make sure everyone remembered.
That's a fair take.
Also, if we're thinking about his World War I days, it could appear to an outsider that a
Wait for it.
Soldier?
Wait for it.
word for troop, a
Soldier?
battalion of troops are in the woods,
In the woods.
scoping out something,
In the
or
woods.
walking around. It appears maybe from an outsider's view that they are like lost. They're in a foreign country. They don't have.
They don't speak
they
the
don't-
language.
They don't have housing.
There's no universal health care.
They can't vote in that country. Like all these things, it appears that they are lost, but they're wandering
With a purpose.
with a purpose, which is to
Go kill people.
a bunch of Germans.
We're having the same exact thoughts on this one. I was like, jinx.
So you think it's less about because the mainstream, like the popular vision is like, oh, it's just like people who are different. They're not lost. They're just like figuring it out in a different way. But you're saying it's more based on real life.
I think its literal meaning is, in the definition, a battalion wandering the woods on a mission to kill. Not all those who wander are lost.
Yeah.
I
That's
fully agree with this. Yeah,
That's
I
it.
think that's exactly what he was saying. We're fucking geniuses.
I
we
know.
are so clever.
Oh,
No, it's not clever.
Should we write a book on Tolkien?
I think that's a good idea.
I think we should write a book on Tolkien.
What Tolkien really meant.
Also, how do you guys pronounce Tolkien? Tolkien?
Tolkien.
Tolkien?
Tolkien, only Tolkien when I'm smoking a pipe.
The book title should be Translating Tolkien for the peasants. Or for the common folk.
Translating to Tolkien for the common folk. I like that.
Or how about maybe translating the trenches?
That just literally does not make sense.
You open it up, it's a trench. And that's it.
Oh, tranche. What is trench in French?
The dictionary defines trench as
Tranche.
What's that Community episode where
again not
where the dean is
Not a good show.
talking about how, or is looking in at the study group, singing that song in French in his head about how Jeffrey won't learn Excel, but it's in French.
He's singing a song in his head in French.
He's
and
like
he doesn't
looking
know
into the
French.
window, all like sad, and the song's like, Je parle les gens, and the subtitles are like, I am sad because I'm learning Excel, but Jeffrey is not learning Excel. And then the song ends with it's like, but my thought, like the soldiers smoking cigarettes on the canal, and then it's like, oh, my thoughts are in French.
I think this is a clear, definitive answer of why The Office is a better show.
Okay, look, we're not getting back into that.
I would name the book Boop, Johnny's Head Bopped Off.
Boop, Johnny's head bopped off?
Yeah. An analysis of Tolkien's writing.
Boop, Johnny's head bopped off.
I just had deja vu of that entire thing.
Really?
Those words
I
were never spoken in the history of man.
I know.
Johnny's head is just booped off? Or
That everything that just happened. I had.
goodness gracious.
Me saying Johnny's head bopped off and then Chris
Okay,
singing
it's
Johnny's
still
head bopped
happening.
off.
I'm still having deja vu. I'm currently live having deja vu in front of you. Even that was deja vu.
This is an exclusive exclusive. Johnny is having deja vu on the podcast live.
Tolkien was talking about deja vu.
Okay, now it just ended. How long was that? How fucking long was that deja
That was
vu?
the longest deja vu in history. Didn't we talk about deja vu recently?
Yeah, you said your greatest pleasure would be
Oh,
to
yeah.
sneeze while in deja vu.
It was like episode 1 or something. It was like really. It
It was a while ago.
It is, and I get sad every time that I don't.
You
Have it.
You have a deja vu-less sneeze.
That was a while. Another lost love.
I wonder.
Hey, not all that wonder.
Oh, that was one of the weirdest things that ever happened to me.
Well, I'm glad you're over it.
Me too.
Can we make a comment? We've made a comment before, but Johnny's T-shirt selection for podcast recordings is often a shirt, a graphic tee with like one word on it.
Yeah.
That is in no way represents Johnny's motives. Relentless is the shirt he's
Relentless.
wearing currently.
Shout out
Johnny?
to Joe
Relentless?
Bachowski. I stole this from his closet.
Is that a Taylor Swift reference? Is that a Taylor Swift shirt? Doesn't she have a song called Relentless?
This is not a Taylor Swift shirt. It's like some, I don't know, workout gym thing, which I
Yeah,
obviously
dude,
do
it's a
not do.
workout thing.
I
think-
was looking for a sleep thing.
I mean, it's like the analysis of Tolkien. You can take it any way you want. He's relentlessly lazy, relentlessly alcoholic,
All the above.
relentlessly famished,
So it's
relentlessly a bitch.
relentlessly
Would you like
deja
me to go
vu.
on?
Well, if we don't end here, the podcast will relentlessly go on and
Oh.
on and on. No, it's not dying.
Oh, okay.
Well, thanks for tuning in to the episode. We appreciate it. For Chris, I'm Johnny.
And I am,
For Johnny, I'm Chris.
and for Chris, I'm Pat.
And for Pat, I'm Johnny.
We'll see you all next week.
I hated that so much.
That was weird.
We will never do that
No.
again.
We've already done that once before.
Deja vu.
If you somehow enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us on Instagram and give us a 5-star review on wherever you happen to find this podcast.
Bienvenue au poème avec Pat. Cette semaine, Pat lit un entre poème.
Welcome to Poems with Pat. This week, Pat reads another poem.
Des morts. De l'aube. À la jure. Ooh, Blanchett. La campagna. Je parterai.
Tomorrow at dawn, at the moment when the land whitens, I will leave.
Vas-tu? Je sais que tu m'attends.
You see, I know that. You're waiting for me.
Je rappelle la forêt. Je rappelle la montagne.
I will go through the forest. I will go across the mountains.
Je ne puis de me lier. De toi plus longtemps.
I cannot stay away from you any longer.
Poème avec Pat.
This was Poems with Pat.